Boum. Ça c'est fait. Qu'est-ce qu'il fait? Ah putain, le sac à merde. Et putain de merde. Oh là là. Ah bah ouais. Bon, au moins j'ai pu récupérer un paplard.
Excellent work. I had my doubts about you, but I'm happy to be proven wrong.
Ken
Ouais.
looks about, then returns his eyes to you and gives you an imperious nod.
With that out of the way, I'm sure you've prayers to submit and acquaintances to greet. My paladins will see to any further concerns. Goodbye now.
J'ai
You
pas
have
fini.
done fine work here, friend. Do not spoil it with stupidity.
Ok, donc toi déjà, je t'aime pas.
Dallas is of the divine order. She is our responsibility. The paladins will handle this. Stay if you must, but do not touch anything. Paladins, turn this place upside down. I want every nook, cranny, and spider web examined. If there's nothing else, we have a lot to do.
Une petite sauvegarde avant de faire une connerie. Yep. Alors, il est demandé de vous parler de Haru.
I'm not a library book to be perused at your leisure. And out with it.
Kem's eyes turn very, very dark.
Coucou.
I cannot count the friends I have seen cut down by the ring, nor the outrages against humanity that I witnessed at their hands.
Enfin, on a un papier qui prouve que justement il est responsable, donc à un
I am
moment...
Lord Commander of the Paladins, Guardians of the Faith, Lucian's own. I kill Black Ring. Never forget that. Now, if you're done with gossip, I have things to do, and so do you, I imagine.
Tête de nœud.
You are no longer required here. We have an investigation to conduct. Here? Now? This is hardly the time or the place. I know a lot more after your tale. Using the Aetheran to steal the source from the world? She's lost her mind. Although much as I despise the creature, I have never known her to... She fought well in battles against the Black Ring. Is that so? Perhaps she thought to convince
Ah, donc
people
Haru
more
c'est le
armed
gardien.
to
Très
allow her
bien,
entry.
petit connard. Va.
A foolish plan for
T'as
more
dit juste avant
reasons
que tu
than I
savais
can
pas qui c'était.
list. I wonder... Well, anyway, it looks like I will need to deal with the witch myself. It's been a long time coming. But please, take this as a token of the Paladin's gratitude. You were invaluable once again. Now leave us to do our work. Be quick. I've other matters at hand. And out with it.
Kem's eyes turn very...
I cannot. I am Lord. Now if you're done with...
Très bien. Ouais, on va... Alors, mot doux. Attention, art de la guerre, fripouille. Non.
The Royal Guard's eyes widen as you
Ça me
approach,
donne absolument pas
fist
envie.
in tow. His calloused fingers reach towards the wolf insignia adorning his uniform.
Ah, l'insigne de loup. Tiens, tiens.
Marcus Miles.
Ouais.
Beast remains silent, though his clenched jaw reveals his resentment. He moves...
Calm yourself, Marcus. You don't know me, but I know you. The rebellion lives. You're lucky to have found an ally here. You won't find many in this house, and certainly not among the Queen's regiment. That Isabel hasn't found me out is a minor miracle.
Justinia. Is she inside then?
I'm told Justinia came to express her best wishes to the bride and her father. Whether the Queen's still inside after all the commotion, I can't say. It seems, and I imagine Ross found Justinia a suitable hiding place.
The guard leans closer to Beast, his voice tight.
The rebellion is in danger. You are in danger. Do not reveal yourself here, Marcus. The guards won't know you unless you announce yourself. Your rebels braved the hinterlands, they braved the wave dancer, and now they brave a poisoned court. They need you alive.
He nods to the door, then takes the rigid stance of a proper royal guardsman.
Ok.
Should do us. Oh, didn't see you there. Sorry, it's been quite a day. You need a hand with anything? Let me know.
Un changlard. Oh, il a de la thune, il y a des trucs. Petit cuir en or légère. What? Coupe en argent. Non mais. Ok. Donc voilà.
Wedding? Oh, Duna, haven't you heard? I'm so sorry, there's been a tragedy. You can head into the garden to see for yourself. Not sure how much longer I'll be here, but if you've a need of supplies, let me know.
Je douille un peu en termes de couverture.
You and me both. Worked for Ross for a decade, and half expected an invitation of my own. But even with half of Arx lying dead in his garden, he still wants the shop open. Then again, if I'd been at the wedding... The fact that the boss loves counting his pennies is probably the only reason I'm breathing. That said, it doesn't feel right to be hawking wares with that next door. Job's the job though. Can hardly leave Arx with naught but empty pockets.
Donc voilà.
He rubs his jaw in thought and gives you a long look.
Low, eh? The boss has been getting messages from dwarves all over, but that is an interesting one. He's not exactly everyone's favourite dwarf, but talk to the guard at the door. I really shouldn't say any more. Oh, of course, you won't find better in all of Arx. Not bad, eh? Oh.
Ouais, bon.
Take care of yourself.
Oh là 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 là. Il y a plein de trucs à faucher, bordel.
The royal protector sighs at Beast, but barely looks up from the floorboards as she addresses him.
Ah.
If you're here for the wedding, there was... It's over now, so be on your way.
Beast gives you an inquisitive look.
Pas grand monde avec nous dans la maison. On a été prévenus. Hein. Dans le doute. Dans le doute. Parce que j'ai pas envie de revivre une baron. Hein. Est-ce qu'il peut faire quelque chose?
Well, then you won't mind if I head in. Royal business wouldn't concern you.
Look, there's been a tragedy. Bride's completely broken about it, poor thing. So
Beast begins rifling through his pack, then produces the wedding invitation acquired in Driftwood, and hands it to her.
I'd say this here's what you need, eh?
She takes the invitation from him and reads it closely, then looks up at Beast for the first time. A spark of recognition lights up her eyes, but is gone in a flash.
Figured I knew ya. One of Lohar's, eh? You're late, but guess that's a good thing. I'll unlock the door for you. Door's open. Go on in.
Ok. Il se la gale.
I am so sorry. How could I have known?
Ils ont tous du diamant et de la thune
She
sur eux,
looks up at
putain.
you with glassy eyes, wiping her tear-streaked face on one brocade sleeve.
A girl's wedding should be the happiest day of her life.
Il c'est que pour l'argent. Oh, ce serait un truc de bâtard. Mais, ouais, faudrait lui dire.
She
Hein.
looks down at her feet. Seeing her blood-spattered wedding slippers, her face crumples and tears spring from her eyes.
I should be so happy. Everybody should be so happy. But before we could even cut our wedding cake, there were void woken everywhere. We barely made it indoors alive. Not everyone was so lucky. I can hardly bear to think of them. Their wives and husbands and children back in the
Ça va
kingdom,
faire chier. Hein.
left to grieve alone. What are you insinuating? We're merchants, not mystics. You should have seen those void monsters. All that blood, all that death. They didn't deserve. We didn't.
She buries her head in her hands, sobbing uncontrollably.
What? Why would you say something like that?
On peut lui montrer le bouquin.
Are you some kind of sadist? Has our special day not had enough pain already? Or are you jealous? Leave me to my grief and take your pain-hungry eyes elsewhere.
On lui aurait simplement montré le bouquin, hein, ça aurait suffi. Alors, Dorian Gall.
Ah, you.
Oui, toi.
The noble-looking dwarf beckons Ifan closer. Ifan narrows his eyes, but strides over anyhow, as the dwarf gestures toward the somber group inside.
Hard to believe you're looking at a wedding party, isn't it? My wedding party.
Ouais, enfin, ton mariage, t'as épousé l'autre que pour foutre la main sur sa thune.
He
Donc.
looks you over, his mouth pressed into a mirthless smirk.
But I suppose you're no stranger to mournful faces. The Silver Fang, isn't that right?
Il fait un niveau de scream.
The dwarf looks you up and down with a most dubious look in his eye. Clearly finding you lacking in some way, he snorts and turns back to Ifan.
Connard.
Look, I know you're him. I know you can take care of problems. And I've got just the problem for you. A very...
I intend to be a particular kind of husband. And I could use someone with your particular talents to help me achieve this. I need you to take care of my father-in-law and bring me his will.
The dwarf winks in an exaggerated fashion, squeezing one eye shut so forcefully it looks like his face just swallowed an eyeball.
Oh là là là
In
là, qu'est-ce que c'est
return,
que ces
Ifan
merdes encore.
raises one eyebrow, slowly.
The man you speak of is not who I am anymore, and I'll not become him again for the likes of you.
Without another word, Ifan turns on one heel and strides away, leaving the aggrieved dwarf spluttering in his wake.
Awful day for it, don't you think?
Ça, t'as de la thune, quoi.
The dwarf glances at Ifan.
The Silver Claw's blade is clearly dulled. But you look like a man of action. A doer of deeds. And I have a matter of some urgency I'd ask you to attend. My new father-in-law, Mikhail Ross, must die. And you must retrieve his will. I will not prescribe the methods you use, but I shall insist on your discretion. Now, tell me, what payment do you require for this service? I have a certain skill with alchemy. I can certainly teach you things. Of course, if you don't have the wit for that, I can see you richly rewarded in all manner of potions. They could grant you health, strength, or even love.
Salut, vous Vidi. Comment va?
Very well. I think 5% should be more than enough compensation. 10. The man is a glorified grocer, not some bloody paladin. 6%. You will take 7% or you will take yourself out of this house.
Je suis sûr que ta femme sera très heureuse d'apprendre que tu as tué son père. Vacances apparemment. Oh, c'est cool.
And please don't assume that I need you. Time is a more reliable assassin than any cutthroat. I can wait.
The dwarf recoils. His face is a mask of abject horror.
That won't be necessary. Just see that it's done. By goodness me, savages.
Si on va causer, tiens, Ifan va causer avec elle.
I am so sorry.
She looks up at you with glassy eyes.
A girl's wedding should be the happiest day of her life. I don't know how this could happen. Who would have seen it coming?
She looks down at her feet.
I should be so. We barely made it indoors alive.
She stares at you in horror. You think you see that strange pink tint in her eyes fade a little.
What? No, no, that's not true. That's impossible.
Her eye twitches and her mouth moves silently, but aggressively. It almost looks as if she's having an argument with herself.
Ah, voilà où on lui sort son journal.
When she looks up at you again, the pink tint has cleared completely from her eyes.
C'est ça.
How could he? How could he? I have to go. I must speak to my father.
Parfait. Parfait. Alors, viens voir. Hey Michel.
You here to do Dorian's dirty work? Figured it wouldn't be long before you showed up. I tell you what, you seem an honourable sort. See Dorian dead and I will meet his offer. Then you're as useless to me as a void woken. I'll have to fight my own battle.
A well-dressed dwarf paces around the room, overseeing the packing of trunks. He doesn't...
Yes, thank you for coming. Indeed, it would have been a beautiful ceremony, if only...
The dwarf trails off as he takes in the sight of the beast. His face goes from soft to stern, and your dwarven companion looks to you for guidance.
Marcus Miles, you should get out of here. Go back to the high
C'est très bien de prendre la mer, boire du rhum et chanter avec des pirates.
We'll all be better off.
Come now, Ross. Is that any way to talk to a distinguished member of the royal family?
Heh, you're no royal, not anymore. A beast you were and a beast you remain. There's only one reason you'd come to Arx. You're looking for Justinia. Heed my advice and leave this place before you do something stupid.
Look, I can't change the past, and I'm sure as hell not going to apologize for it. But Justinia's in trouble. Big time. And if anyone can talk some sense into her, it's me.
He peers into Beast's eyes, looking for a sign of honest intent, and, satisfied, his face...
When the crackdowns and decrees came, I defended her. But when she exiled you, I joined in the applause. But this new plan of hers, I want to believe I do, but death fog? Something's not right, Marcus.
Ah bah tu m'étonnes.
She's tuned me out. Well, she's tuned everyone out. Everyone but that advisor of hers, that Isbale. They're quacking all but drowned us out.
Plus. Je crois qu'on l'a déjà croisé.
She's holding court in the sewers, if you can believe it. Go to my wine cellar. Pull out the vintage called Lula Bell. It will open the way for you.
Très bien, ça.
I don't know what Justinia's endgame is, Marcus. But I don't want to be anywhere near when it begins.
Be brief.
Yes. Hell if I know. A terrible answer, but it's all I've got.
On va avoir
But
du
it
lore.
wasn't long after she started hovering around Justinia that things started to change. Justinia's always been
hard, if you know what I mean, but never heartless. I don't know what her end game is, but I don't want to be anywhere near when it begins. And you know what must be done, and why it must be done quickly. Is there more you need from me? Oh, really? Do you have any other shock news to share? Trolls are ugly, dwarves are short.
Ouais, enfin le problème c'est que sa fille s'en était pas rendu compte jusqu'à maintenant.
I'm well aware of the circumstances, Snoopy, but Isla's heart is all aflutter. What's a father to do? You already know how close the danger is. If it all goes to hell, I don't plan on being anywhere near this place.
C'est pas faux.
What? Impossible. Well, that's the wine talking, that is. My will? What could he... Yes. This news does muddle things a tad. I tell you what. You seem a loyal dwarf, a true servant of the kingdom. See Dorian dead, and I will meet his offer. Be quick about it. I do not have the luxury of time.
Oh, qu'est-ce que c'est que ce truc? Lulubelle, putain mon dieu, mais quel...
You've come to serve, yes? Excellent. Bring me my slippers. Chop chop. Do hurry. My hooves are shivering from the chill.
Où ils sont ces trucs? Tiens.
There are boys in the cave. They're alive.
Oh merde.
Hostile. Time to play.
Ah! Alors, voyons voir. Putain. Les kaboum dans le gâteau, quoi. Le sac à merde.
What is happening out here? Haven't we seen enough tragedy today?
He considers the wreckage surrounding the X-cake. Understanding dawns.
That cake, it came from the doctor.
Le
With a
docteur,
letter
tiens,
of
tiens.
congratulation. It was truly a magnificent sight, but the wedding was cut short before we could even slice it. Voidwoken, sabotage, bad cake. You'd think someone had it in for our little lady. Few have seen his face, and no one knows his name. He corresponds only by messenger. The townspeople seldom speak of him.
Tiens.
Which is strange now that I think of it.
Le docteur, le fameux docteur qu'on cherche.
He'll open your belly and fill it with jelly. The doctor is in, the doctor is in. He'll rip off your toes and shove them up your nose. The doctor is in, the doctor is in. Heard a kid singing that the other day. Her mother heard it too, and beat the poor child senseless. That was funny, I have to admit. Gotta take your entertainment where you can when you're on duty. There is little to tell. He's just the doctor. He speaks to few, and few wish to speak of him unless they're desperate. No one, it's easiest if I show you. Let me see your map.
Parfait.
He shakes his head and whistles as he identifies the
Comme la
doctor's
chanson
home
de
on your
l'ordi.
map.
Ah, j'ai pas dû entendre celle-là.
If there was ever a house that was haunted, well, that's the one. They say almost no one gets in.
Ordi, le chanteur
Never come out.
métal. Avec le reste de la troupe qui est déguisé en monstre. Docteur Sin. Ah, non, j'ai pas entendu, ça me dit rien du tout. Gâteau à manger.
The shadowed house on the eastern cliff. Can't say I blame you. I don't want to appear
Il y
disloyal,
avait beaucoup de sang.
but as
Beaucoup, ouais.
dwarf and weddings go,
Tu m'étonnes. Alors. Qu'est-ce qu'on a eu? Tes mains, la beauté de la mariée, petit secret en symbole de votre amour. Éruption. Éruption de son... Le gâteau sera découpé, ça va faire exploser de joie. Kendrick, on va voir.
What is your pleasure, my lord? Our best vintage is unavailable, but I may have a delicious cider in the cupboard, if you'd allow. Oh, sir, I can't say I know. Besides, I'm not at liberty to discuss.
Maintenant. Yes.
I swear, I don't know. Maybe he went to his house. It's over by the barracks. Just don't hurt me.
He inspects the coin, then drops it in his pocket and shuffles away with an embarrassed whimper.
Très bien. Oh, tout cet argent. Pourquoi c'est autant la merde?
You again? I should hate to spoil your fun, but this will not be as easy as you might think.
The dwarf grins as he lifts a flap of cloth to reveal a string of grenades around his waist.
Ok. Immunité contre le feu, très bien. Ok. Ok. Bon, je peux jouer? Ok. Alors, toi. Boule de feu, la 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 la. Ok. Qui pensait que j'y verrais enfin un peu quelque chose. Bon, je suis éclaté aussi. C'est fait, ouais, ouais. Alors qu'est-ce qui s'est passé exactement? Les anneaux ont tout détruit, d'accord. Je me demande si je suis prêt pour la partie. Fameux PG qui vous ont attaqué.
Attack toys, you say? Any other day I wouldn't believe you. Today, nothing can surprise
Des poulets cracheurs de feu. Déjà rien que ça.
Army of poison toads, flying crocodiles, fire-breathing chickens.
Des poulets cracheurs de feu. En vrai, j'aime beaucoup l'idée.
Looks like I'll need to have a word with the doctor right after you've gone, which should be any moment now, I'm sure.
It's
oh, my little Lila looked almost presentable out there. Probably for the best she never got to dig into that cake.
Oh, mais
now,
if
you'll
you'll
excuse me, I'm sure you've your own burdens to bear.
Ross taps his foot impatiently and steals a glance at his half-packed boxes.
Tac.
Oh, yes? Well, I could certainly use some good news amongst the bad. I am a man of my word. Here is the payment promised. You've done right by me once. Now it's time to do right by your cousin.
Tout à fait. Oh. Dextre l'âme. Le Béric. C'est un grand suiveur de l'aventure, mais...
Ah, my darling Lulabelle. Isn't she a beautiful creature?
Okay.
A ray of light during dark times.
Ok. Un résumé de toute beauté, j'imagine. Je vais apprendre le livre.
Tears fill her eyes as she bites her lip to hold back sobs.
This is the worst day of my life.
C'est pas faux. Tu veux que j'en remette une couche?
She slumps in her seat, looking even more miserable and dejected than ever. She
La
nods
campagne
sadly,
Ulule commence...
gazed
Ah oui,
into
non,
the
d'accord.
carpet.
Alors, voyons voir. Vin onirique de Safa. Vin de baie rouge de Robjam. Vin pétillant Casa de Gigi. On dit jamais 203. Chianti de Griver, réserve. Vin de gland de la comtesse de Saint-Écureuil. Vin tonique de qualité supérieure de Vifsou. Vin de table de Donna, 1485. Château Flaminia 31. Vin de miel Lulabelle, 1218. Ardakin, Ancien Empire. Bouteille de château Aris Potienius, 17 ans d'âge. Cidre simple de nains. Ok. Vin de prune de Kathleen, 1489. Torboyau millésimé de Tarlette. Vin de miel de Noircime, 1194. Vin rouge millésimé de Dario, réserve de Bressan. Vin sucré Metz de Malbec. Rude breuvage d'Akim et bouteille de vin sans fond d'Amadeus. Vin de gland de la comtesse Écureuil. Et sinon, donc, c'est le vin de miel. Tu fais du vin de prune. Alors ça se fait. Hein. Toi, géantosaure. Ça marche, oui. Bah, plus tard peut-être. À plus. On est quoi, elle veut parler? Des momies à 8 pattes, des nains à caisse, des vauriens à puce, comment vous appelez ça vous? Ah, les araignées. Oh là là, ok.
A noisy gang of dwarves dragged an excessively large gang of crates in, and neither one ever left. Rude.
Activé vers septembre, je crois. Ah putain, ça c'est la loose, oui. Ça c'est la loose. D'avoir les... Tiens, ça sent la pluie. D'avoir les... la fibre juste devant, mais pas être accordée. Putain. Bon, bah vivement que tu l'ailles.
Sneaky, oily, lousely kids dip in and out of here all the time. I ought to set out traps, see what I catch.
Ok. C'est que des petites filles. Hein.
She stares at you, unblinking. You can tell that you're making her nervous.
Ok.
That painting is definitely unique.
On va pas lui causer à elle. Putain, il a un fez et un monocle. Ah merde, ils sont en train de causer.
A little girl looks you square in the face. She doesn't smile, she doesn't frown, and she sure as hell doesn't look shy.
Olivia's silly. You don't. I need to think about this.
She thinks about this.
Now that you're here, can't very well leave. Suppose you told someone.
What?
That wouldn't do. No, you'll just have...
Ok, alors attends, déjà, on continue à voir si on peut blablater. D'accord.
Go away, hiding.
Ok.
Yeah, that's what we'll do. The troll will fix it. And then you'll be dead.
Regarde.
Well then, I definitely don't want you hanging around. Everybody out. Troll time. Kill this weirdo.
Mais...
The kids vanish, and you hear the grumbling of a couple of trolls.
Putain, il m'a retépé à côté, le sac. Ok, alors, je suis désolé, hein, mais ça a commencé à devenir un peu chaud d'arriver à le faire survivre, hein, sur le rat. Parce que là, avec les trucs de brouillard mortel, je sais pas comment j'aurais pu me... Voilà, surtout que c'est pas censé impacter les vivants, que les morts, et le truc c'est que il est déjà mort en fait. Grande masse de noms. Putain. Bonjour.
Bound and blindfold, you are dragged through the darkness. The stench tells you you're in the sewers. Your dwarven captors are silent, but then a skittering, as of blades tapping on stone. Your captors stop, unsure. Screams rend the darkness, silence falls, and then that sound again. Sticks dancing on stone. You tear the blindfold free, then wish you hadn't. The giant spider looms over you. Its jaws close upon your face.
Oh!
A guard rushes in front of you, and before you can flinch, the point of a sharp spear draws a bead of blood from the artery in your neck.
Halt! State your name. Now.
Marcus.
Justinia, te voilà.
Guard, lower your spear. An old friend's come to pay a visit.
Alors je viens pas te rendre visite à toi, hein, déjà, je viens rendre visite à Justinia.
We must not. I'm well aware of the beast's ambitions, Your Highness. Do as she says. Lower your spear.
Yes, of course, my queen.
Ok, on ne se pose même pas la question de savoir qui porte le pantalon. Qui porte la culotte. Alors, ah, je peux même pas m'enfuir. Hein.
Quite sure, Your Majesty.
Oh là 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 là. 1351 en esprit.
Your Highness, Bloom of Duna, Flame of the Forge, I present your bastard cousin and the seed of divinity, Marcus Miles.
Toi? Hein?
Marcus is dead. I am the beast of the sea, and you will address me as such.
The queen opens her mouth as if to speak, but Beast cuts her off with an ominous growl.
I know your deceit, Justinia. I may be beast, but I'm no demon. And only a demon could dream up an evil like Operation Downfall.
Isbel intrudes before the queen can speak.
Your Majesty's brilliance has known no bounds. The Order has living tools of war. My queen must attack before they can invade the homeland.
Ok, elle est complètement sous le contrôle d'Ishbail. Reine Justinia.
Justinia turns to Isbel, looking for assurance, and Isbel begins to chuckle. Her laugh is low and measured at first, but grows in magnitude until she can barely breathe.
Oh, but you think yourself so clever, don't you, beastly boy? Fine. I'm tired of pretending I serve this weak wench anyway, but it doesn't matter. Isbel? Shut your royal maw, Justinia. Arcs will fall and your memory writ. They will believe it was your will, your plan, your command.
Isbel, hush yourself. I must think.
Hush? You pitiful woman. Do you truly expect me to be silent?
Chacal de Justinia. Ok, elle est étourdie. Ah putain, nous aussi, merde.
Awake to the cold gaze of 1,000 stones and the hot gaze of the dwarf Isbel, right hand of the queen.
You're awake. Yeah, at first I figured I'd just kill you. But then I thought, Isbiel, you're wasting an opportunity here. Don't bother thanking me just yet, though. I dare say you'll be begging to die before long. I'll start with lesser toxins, just to see how you react, and take it from there. How strong a dose can a godwoken handle? How long does it take for one to succumb? So many questions.
You cannot move your arm, your leg, your head. They are no match for the pull of gravity. Your lips open, but no words spill forth. She has paralyzed you. Only your...
Don't fight it. You'll only make things worse.
Ok, elle, on va lui pourrir la gueule.
Oh, but I've been so rude. You should know the real me.
Et ça monte ta gueule au lieu de montrer tes loches.
Oh, it's good to get myself a rest.
Okay.
Those masks can be darned pesky, can't they, my mariful friend?
Every ounce of energy within you evaporates. You have no more control over your own source than you do of your flaccid body. Isbel shakes her head at you. Tut, tut.
Do try to relax. The harder you fight, the harder the experiment will be on you. That dose proves quite alarming for my normal subjects. I'd forgotten that you are, well, anything but normal.
The attempt is futile. Every inch of your body is useless, though your senses still register every sight, sound and smell.
Putain, si Fan pouvait se réveiller, je lui foutrais un grand coup de flèche dans la gueule à l'autre couille là.
I have just the thing. Just a spritz, mind you.
You struggle to move, and you feel your toes wiggle, and your fingers twitch. The paralysis is waning.
Ça va chier.
Interesting. Some of the results are quite unexpected. Now, let's move on to death fog. Live or die, you've already proven most... Well, I was going to say useful, but perhaps entertaining is the better word.
Isbel turns the valve, but no fog wafts forth. In that moment, you feel your marrow awaken. You've regained control of your own bones at last.
What's wrong with it? God! Come! The Godwoken's broken free of my spell!
Ah, tu te chies un peu dessus là, hein? Espèce de saloperie. Fléchette empoisonnée sur Fan? Bah oui, vas-y, fais-moi la mort. Pas de soucis. Espèce de garce. Alors. Petit coup de fouet, je trouve. Petit boule de feu. Oui, ça passe. Allez, bisous! Mange ça! Je suis sûr que t'aimes. Attends, coup de magus. Bounk! Ah oui, ça va bien. Fais-nous du doudou. Et moi. Allez, bisous! Un petit coup de déflagration. Allez. Et voilà. Toi, tu vas vampiriser la sauce d'Ishbael. Ça se paraisse comme une merde. Ok, bon. Eh ben écoutez, on va sauvegarder. Ça va être la pause Boostify et je vous retrouve donc à 20h, 20h15 pour la suite du JDR de Cthulhu Monstrum Malleus. Du coup, eh bien je vous dis bon appétit à tous et à tout à l'heure.